everyone, hope you all are doing good. So far we have seen how we can write the GraphQL queries and automate it. We have also seen the mutations for insertion, update and delete. So for this particular video we will be discussing about the fragments. So in the layman terms, if I just tell you what are fragments, it's like a reusable functions in the GraphQL. So if a particular part of a query if needs to be used across the different places, then you can use the fragments. So I will switch to the browser and we'll take an example of that. Consider I am just writing a query for get users. And inside the users, I have the users query where I am just getting an ID, name, and say rocket. Okay, and if I execute it, you can see it will give me ID, name, and rocket. So consider a get users one. Now let's try to create another query which is like get users 2. In this particular query, I will add another thing known as say Twitter and description as well. Sorry, timestamp. So if I just run it, so you will be seeing the get user 1, get user 2. If I execute the get user 2, you will get this particular data with the ID, name, rocket, Twitter, and timestamp. So you can see the similarity between these two queries right here. What you can see, ID, name, and rocket are present as a part of both your queries, right? So it is like you are repeating your step again as a part of the certain queries. So how you can achieve that? One is like if you see if we create a reusable methods, we can perform this operation, right? In any programming language, if there is a particular reusable thing required, what you will do, you will create a particular reusable method and will be just call wherever it is required. Similarly, in the case of GraphQL, we can create something known as fragments. So fragments are again like reusable blocks for us. So how to write the fragments? If I just say fragment, say user details, and you have to use on. If you just hover on get users, you will get an idea what on users, you can see, right? So you will get the smart search as soon as you will just put control space. So it will show all the schema for user aggregate. So I want to put the fragment on users. And what is your reusable code? This is like reusable code that you want as a part of your fragment. So if you put it here, now this particular fragment will become reusable, which can be used across the queries for you. So how to use this now? So just remove the unnecessary part. You need to put 3 dots and just say fragment name. What is the fragment name here? User details. Just put it here. Similarly, in the case I want to replace three data from the user's query, which is ID, name, and rocket. So for that, I will just try to introduce my fragment. So user details, right? Now what if I execute now? If I use the get user name 1, so you will be seeing you will be getting only one, only the ID, name, and rocket, which is a part of this fragment as a part of your query get users 1. What if I'm trying to execute the get users 2 now? So let's see this. Now you will be seeing, right, ID, name, rocket, Twitter, and timestamp. These are the 2 additional parameters along with your fragment. So this is how you can write the fragments, and it will be like very helpful, very needful whenever you are using the certain queries to automate, because certain times we might need to use a certain certain parts of a particular query across the different queries. So for that, this fragment will be very useful to us. So now let's see how we can automate this stuff. So let's switch to our Visual Studio Code. Try to create one file. So let's try to duplicate the existing one, and let's rename as fragment-spec.js. Once I will get it here, so let's try to use this particular query get users 2. So let me format my document. So you can see here, right, I have created this query. So let's say get user query. Now what I need to do, I need to create one more query for the fragment. So let's say user details. So let's copy this particular part again, paste it here. Okay. Now what we'll do, we'll just copy this fragment again. Let me format the document again. So now we have the fragment ready with us, right? But how to use this fragment as a part of a query? So first of all, it's a const. I need to declare it before this get user query. Otherwise you might get reference error. Okay, once you have the user detail, so how would you do that? First of all, you need to call this user detail at this point. I think that's all. Yeah, it means you are ready to use your fragment now. So what we did, just a recap on that part. We created a simple, just I will remove this and explain you again. So what we did previously, we created a user query, right? And we did like users and defined a user detail. So user detail is my fragment, which I have captured in my user details variable. Now to use that variable in your existing GraphQL query, you just need to call it using the string template, say user detail. Now you have the data with you. Let's try to send the query. I think we are pretty much good now. So let's try to execute, say node source text and fragment spec.js. Taking some time. Yeah, you can see right here you are able to get the output. So you are getting the ID, name and the rocket, which is part of your fragment, and Twitter and timestamp is a part of your get user query. So this is how you can automate the fragment. So that's all from my side for this particular video. Again, if you like my content, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you again.